Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Right now, we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins wanting to come down to Duval County. That is the report out of Arizona that we received yesterday afternoon. We're going to dive into it right here. First, I'd like to remind you, hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. Let me know what you think. And you can also follow Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. We really appreciate your support, Duval. So yesterday, Jordan Schultz, he reported that the Arizona Cardinals intended to trade DeAndre Hopkins this offseason. Obviously, that's going to be interesting. And anytime you have a big-time receiver, which make no mistake about it, that's exactly what DeAndre Hopkins is. Anytime you have one of those guys that's available via trade or free agency, teams start clamoring. Teams start putting the money on the table and the picks on the table when it comes to these players. You talk about Tyreek Hill, some of the other guys that have become available lately and gotten absolutely paid. DeAndre Hopkins looks like it's going to be next in line for him. So Jordan Schultz reports the Cards want to trade him. Guess what? DeAndre Hopkins, he has a no-trade clause in his contract, which means he is going to have to accept wherever the Cardinals want to trade him. He's going to be able to dictate where he wants to go to a certain extent. And he should have no shortage of suitors here for a DeAndre Hopkins trade. 30 years old, still in the prime of his career, in my opinion. Averaged 80 yards per game when he was healthy in 2022. This guy's still ready to go, ready to help an offense, ready to help win some Super Bowls. He's not going to go to a team rebuilding. He wants to join a team that can absolutely compete at the highest level right now, and an offense that can compete at the highest level right now. And according to the Burns and Gambo show, their sources are saying it's the Jags and Chargers on the short list for DeAndre Hopkins of where he wants to go. Just so happens that those two teams are also squaring off in Duval County in the AFC wildcard this weekend. But yeah, DeAndre Hopkins likely to be traded this offseason, again, according to Jordan Schultz. And according to the Burns and Gambo show out of Arizona, DeAndre Hopkins, who has a no-trade clause in his contract, which means he has to approve the trade destination, he's saying he wants the Jags and Chargers. Jags or Chargers. Wow. When's the last time the Jags were involved in a rumor like that? It's been quite some time. But do you want DeAndre Hopkins in Duval? Yes, absolutely, without question. DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and Christian Kirk, if that is the top three receivers you have for Trevor Lawrence to throw the football to, that's magic. That's magic right there. And that's like Super Bowl caliber stuff right there. That's like, we have the best receiving core in football, we have the best young quarterback, and we have the best play caller. And you're not going to stop us. So yes, if you could make it happen, absolutely you want DeAndre Hopkins in Duval, and he wants to be here. But how do you make it work? Obviously, you're going to have to give up some draft capital to acquire him in a trade. What would that look like? Not sure. I don't think you're going to give up a first, but I bet some other team would. So that probably doesn't quite add up. But if I was a Jaguars GM, I would put together a plan, create an entire offseason plan here, and look at, does paying DeAndre Hopkins and trading for him and paying him make sense from a roster management and roster building standpoint? The answer is probably no, unless you are able to restructure some of the contracts that you've inked recently. I'm talking about Christian Kirk, Cam Robinson, Rayshon Jenkins. You're obviously going to have to drop some players as well who have big cap hits. You talk about Shaquille Griffin. Talk about potentially Roy Robertson Harris. There's some other guys out there. And then you also talk about, if you're going to be active in bringing back any of your own free agents, unrestricted free agents, or bringing in any other team's unrestricted free agents, you're going to have to be ready to ink some crazy signing bonuses. And Shad Khan has been ready and willing to do that, but I think they're going to have to go even further, right? Even bigger checks and signing bonuses to avoid that year one cap hit. Because the signing bonuses and contracts and other bonuses can be prorated throughout the length of the contract, which greatly reduces year one cap hit. You can cut cap hits in half. You can cut them even further than that. It's just all about how much you're willing to play ball here with the numbers. So is it possible that the Jaguars get wild and crazy and say, you know what, we're just going to build the best receiving core in football, let the chips fall where they may? It is possible, yes. I don't think it's likely. I think this is a franchise that, with Trent Baalke at GM and Doug Peterson at head coach, Ethan Waugh, assistant GM, I think this is a franchise that probably is going to try to be a little bit more balanced than that. They're already going to have Calvin Ridley under contract. They're already going to have Christian Kirk. They're already going to have Zay Jones. Are they going to really add DeAndre Hopkins to that? I'd be in on trying to see if it works out. Like, make this plan, create this spreadsheet, whatever you need to do, illustrate the different moves you need to make this offseason. Does this make sense? Could this work out? Could giving Trevor Lawrence the best receiving core on the planet work with the rest of our football team? Could we field a team that we feel comfortable with while also acquiring DeAndre Hopkins? That would be my question within that building. And I think that's the question the Jaguars should be asking themselves, because this is a guy that is going to be not a Pro Bowler, a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. That's the type of career DeAndre Hopkins is having. He has 853 receptions in 10 seasons, almost 11,300 yards, 71 touchdowns. The guy is unbelievable. He's a ball winner. He gets open. Trotting DeAndre, Calvin, and Christian out there, I don't know how you stop that. I really don't. And so you would need to see if you can figure it out, if you can make it work. I would be doing everything I could to see if I could make it work. Will the Jaguars? I doubt it, because they've already invested so much in that receiver room. And they are going to feel like they've got guys that they need to worry about. But it'd be hard for me to look away from the opportunity, DeAndre Hopkins wanting to come to my football team. We'll see how it all plays out. But Jags, they do have a big contest this weekend against the Los Angeles Chargers in Duval County. Make sure you show up, show out, be loud, wear teal. The Jaguars are going to be wearing teal and white. Teal tops, white pants for this one. Another primetime game. I'm fired up for it. Hopefully y'all are too. That will do it for the show here today. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Hit the like and subscribe button, the notification bell, so you don't miss a show on here. You can also check genjag.com, pick up some Duval gear. You can become a member of the channel. Link in the description below. Thank you so much for tuning in, Duval.